Hello, racing fans, and welcome back to another edition of Handicappers Corner, brought to you by the Derby Barn Grill. I'm Mike Heads. I'm with Drew Forster. We're going to go through the Saturday, July the 16th races at Hastings. We do have 8 races on tap, and of course a big Sea to Sky Pick 6 carryover of over $42,000. It'll be over $50,000 by.
Absolutely, and a tough card. And as you mentioned, it's nice to see as we're getting deeper into the season and we are getting more horses started. We do go to 8 races on
Got
Saturday.
2 2-year-old races on Sunday, which is nice. We get the help from, actually, and there's 1 2-year-old race, one 3.5. So 3 2-year-old races this weekend, which is helping give the older horses a bit of a rest.
That is going to
because
help
they've
a
been
lot.
carrying the meat for the first 20-odd days.
And we should start, as we do get our 2-year-old started, we should get more 2-year-old races. And that
Correct.
could help us build it up where we are running 8 both days, which is definitely promising.
It'll be a busy day on Saturday. Dayton Cup.
Right.
It's going to be, I saw them building the stage as of taping, like out at the track this morning, and they were building a big stage.
Yeah, there's a big article in the province on Sunday about the Dayton Cup, so we should get a good crowd out for that.
It'll be a great crowd on Saturday. Should be a lot of well-dressed people with a lot of nice horses running.
To mention me and you.
Yeah, I know, we'll be. I'll get the same shirt. I'll have the same shirt on. Clean it up.
As Mike mentioned, there is 8 races on tap, and the first one is a maiden special weight for 3-year-olds and up, going 6.5 furlongs. I steered clear of the obvious favorite here, Good As They Get. He's going to be your favorite.
Right.
I did put him in the second spot, but I like the 6 Great Promise. He only had the 1 start. He's a half to touching promise, so he does have a license to, to be a nice horse. He only gets beat 2.5 by Good As They Get in his first start. I can see him improving. Good As They Get's had a lot of chances. I mean, he has tackled nice horses and ran in stakes, of course. But I just like a horse that you're going to get some value on. I like the 6 Great Promise. Obviously, I put Good As They Get in the second spot. He's the horse to beat in here. He's going to be a low price. And I put Mighty Mesa. He's going from the 25s up into the maiden special weight category, but he's still been right there in all of his starts. So I put him in third. I went 6, 1, and 5.
I saw the race exactly the same way for the same reasons. Great Promise, 1 start. There's a lot of upside.
Yeah.
I think we've seen the best of Good As They Get. He is as good as he is, and he's had 11 career starts. He's still a very nice colt, and he'll break his maiden very soon. He might even do it today. But just for value, I know we're splitting hairs. Probably one will pay $3 and one will pay $6, so it's not a lot of value. But still, Great Promise has a lot of upside, and I was pretty impressed with the way he ran in the slop in his debut and fought on for the 3rd place spot and against some more seasoned horses. So I went 6-1. I put Sergeant Rick, who had a terrible beginning last time, and I think he might hopefully with a little better. It was Mighty Mesa, Sergeant Rick. They're all interchangeable. The filly Hurricane Rhonda, you better believe it was very green and ran 4 or 5 wide throughout the entire race last time. But I think we've nailed it. The 6 and 1, 1-6. I mean, these are pretty much an obvious exactor. I went 6, 1, and 2 in the Saturday opener. On to race number 2, maiden $4,000 claimers going a mile and a 16th. A big standout in here on the 4 Oshki. He's not very good out of the gate, but at least he'll have a lot of time to catch a lot of them.
Yeah.
But he's not facing an overly tough group. A lot of these horses have had a lot of chances to get the job done. But Oshki looks brilliant in here. Number 2, Fishing on the Fraser. I'm going to give him a shot for second. It seems like the mile and the 16th did him quite a favor. He ran a pretty good race last time against Slow Fractions and still ran on well. And the 1, Feel No Shame. Give that one a shot. Going to be up in play, probably setting the fractions, because Oshki is your favorite. He does come from last because he doesn't break well. At least Feel No Shame will have a lot of time to be lollygagging on the head end and have some comfortable fractions. So I put him in for third. I went 4-2-1.
I see pretty much the same way. Oshki, just his second, or make it his 4th start. Second off the layoff. He does go long, and he's a half to excited miss, so the distance shouldn't be a problem for him. Yeah. He does look like a standout here, taking the big drop for a very live barn Dino and the Swift Thoroughbreds. I got Oshki on top. I put Fishing on the Fraser, as well as same horse as you. That race, the last one, he went from a 37 up to a 41 bar, stretching out, going long at big odds. Like he only got beat a half length by Sal, who would be an obvious second pick in here. So I got him in the second spot. And I threw Peyton's Command for Hall of Fame trainer Harold Barabee. His barn's heating up a little bit. And that race 2 back only gets beat a few lengths by War On and Groot. Again, tougher horses. So I put him in the 3rd spot. I went 4, 2, and 3. In the second, on the third, 2-year-old race, maiden 35, going 3.5. I went to the 7 horse here, Imposing Cat for Hall of Fame trainer Troy Taylor in the North American Thoroughbred Horse Company. Great gate move on the 13th, which was yesterday, in 35-3. That's impressive, and he should be tough to catch in here. He obviously breaks well, and he comes out of a very live 2-year-old barn. I put E-Caddy in the second spot. Took a giant step forward in his second start. I mean, not disgraced in his first start. Ran into some tough horses like Hanson's Victory, Driller. And then last start, only gets beat a couple lengths by Total Defense, and definitely live in here. And, you know, he's got 2 starts now. He's got a great post. Should be tough. And I threw Carroll's Command, the other Pat Jarvis, in for third. A lot of bullets for this filly. And she's had a Pretty Maid, who was a
Pretty fast.
placed,
Nice. Shauna Van Oostam had Pretty Maid for Jane Foxwell.
Yeah, so I threw Pretty Maid, the full Pretty Maid, Carroll's Command, in the third spot. For me, it was 7-8, 8-7, and then I threw Carroll's Command, and I went 7-8-1.
Yeah, I agree. I went to the 8 though. I just switched it around. I went E-Caddy on top. Experience 3.5. Experience wins races, and
as we've seen all year. Yeah.
if Imposing Cat is brilliant, which a lot of the Troy Taylor runners are leaving the gate, then he'll win. But E-Caddy, you know, just got beat by another North American Thoroughbred Troy Taylor runner in Total Defense last time, and I thought it was a pretty good race. And E-Caddy for me, I like the outside draw too. I just think it's perfect. He can clear. Dennis Arrojo picks up the mount. Imposing Cat for second. I put Satellite Storm in for third. Bred to be pretty fast. Don't know much about the stallion, but the mare Kula Girl has had the Kula Kid, who is extremely quick. And Jim Brown's excellent with his 2-year-olds. 35-1 work. I know it wasn't out of the gate or anything, but still at least it shows this horse got some giddy up, and this horse could be alive, Satellite Storm. I went 8-7-2, but I think you need all 3 of them. This is a tricky race, and you know, it does start off the Sea to Sky pick 6 with that big carryover.
2-year-olds are always
Wouldn't
tough.
want to just stand alone or 7 and 8. Or there's some interesting runners in here. Is your horse out of the mare Pretty Maid? The 1 horse Carroll's Command. That horse is all
The other Troy
right.
Taylor horse,
Miss Mariah. They paid a fair amount of money for this one, and does get Skylar White
half
Shield.
to Prince Intent too was a nice runner around here. So
There's some interesting runners in here, so it's definitely worth a look. Got to look at them in the paddock too. But I went 8-7-2 to kick off the Sea to Sky pick 6. Race number 4, $8,000. Or 16th, pardon me, non-2, non-3 is going a mile on the 16th. The 1 Merlot for me is, I don't know, he shouldn't have lost last time. They did have him enter over 8 grand, but was scratched and instead ran in this spot. Source was 2 and 3 wide a lot of the race. Royal Briar took a pretty good trip and didn't, nudge him by a length. But I think those 2 are interchangeable. They're both nice horses. I went 1-2, and I put the 6 Clarny Kid. I picked him last time.
yeah.
I thought he would be on the lead. There was not a lot of pace in the race. He was not on the lead. And I'm hoping Amadeo maybe can get him out there this time, but we'll see. But 1-2-6 were the 3 horses for me.
I went with Royal Briar. He hadn't ran since April, ran in June, going long, ran a big race, only gets beat a length by Admiral Jackson, and was a length clear of Merlot. And I think he's got a nice work coming off that, nice easy 49-3, just keeping him fit for Cindy Krasner. And I just see more upside for a horse taking the second start of the year than Merlot, who's had.
He's had a lot of starts though. He's been running Phoenix.
Well, he's running
Phoenix.
Phoenix,
a lot of starts.
but since April, right?
Correct,
So he's
correct.
off, 2 months, and I just see him coming back with a better effort. With Merlot, he's been running fairly.
He's been pretty regular.
You've seen kind of his top end. So I put Royal Briar on top of. I put the 3 horse Southern Casanova. He won this race 3 races ago. Then he went up to an optional 25 that was very tough with twist grips. And then most recently ran against Shuswap Creus in one of these races, which is a pretty live race. And he stumbled, didn't get his trip, and still only gets beat 3 lengths. So I think he has more upside. It's
He's
another
worth the
horse
look,
that's going to have some value. So I put him in the second spot, and I put Merlot, who's going to be probably your favorite.
That's the bad part about me taking Merlot. I agree. There's nothing. I mean, it's a club horse.
If
It's
he
going to be
wins-
4 to 5. You're getting 360.
Yeah, if he wins, he wins.
Congratulations.
But I'm trying to do something
You're not
different.
knocking
So I
the world
went
off with Merlot.
2, 3, and 1 in the 4th. On to the 5th. Fillies and Mares maiden 16, going 6.5 furlongs. I went to Oasis Wells here, another Troy Taylor horse, taking the big drop out of a maiden special weight. It was a live maiden special weight with Estelado, our Triple Charm, who came back to beat the boys. And she was up pressing a pretty good pace, 22-1 and 46 in the very first start of her life. She got tired, she figured to, and now she drops in for 16. That was a while ago. She's had a while to recoup and been working right along, and I just see her with the most upside in here.
Right.
So I put Oasis Wells on top of the 10, Princess Soprado. She's had a few chances, been well bet in all 3 of her races. But I like the fact that Mike Anderson, who now is tied with Jon Snow in the leading trainer standings, has given this girl a little time off to come back with a nice work in 101 and 2. And I think she's fresh and she takes the blinkers off. Antonio Reyes rides her today, our second leading rider. So it's some upside there. I put Princess Soprano in the second spot. I threw Touch of Green for Hall of Fame trainer Dave Forster. Another one that seemed right there. I thought, when she had that terrible trip and got beat a length and a half, he tried her again a couple times for 25. Now she drops for 16. Amadeo Perez takes over. I threw her in for third. But for me, it's 6 and 10, and I threw the 3 in. 6, 10, 3 for me.
Absolutely hated this race.
Yeah,
I have no idea what's going to happen in this race.
Another one like that.
I'd be remiss in saying I know it's tough in any race to tell you this is what's going to happen. But in this race is like it's anything can happen.
Another one I looked at, I could have thrown, it was the 8 Backseat, or Becca's Victory out of the good race mare, Backseat Becca. Only had the 1 start for Harold last year. That was in a stake. Now it shows up this year for 16. That's another one I could have thrown in. This is a race you can go deep in. Yeah,
no, it's definitely probably the toughest race of the sequence in the Sea to Sky Pick 6. I agree with the 6 Oasis Welsh. I'm very sketchy on it. I mean, this horse.
A lukewarm pick.
This horse it does have speed. It's dropping in class, but I mean, where's it been? It had to work in June, another month off. Has to work in July. You look at horses' patterns. It's been a problem. Yeah. Things are not going well for Oasis Welsh. Is she good enough to do it off this abbreviated training pattern? I will see. But I mean, just kind of scary to take an abbreviated training pattern at 2-1, and that's what might happen.
She's going to be low. Yeah.
And I did go to the horse. I don't know. I didn't know where to go. I put the 7-horse Velvet Rose in for second.
Yeah, I don't mind.
She
Velvet
tracked
Rose,
the slow pace. Went 48.5. Still didn't run on. So I'm like, but it was her first start. She has some, and same as Oasis Wells. It was her first start. These horses have room for improvement, but just a little leery about the 10. I put the 10 Princess Soprano in for third, but she's had her share of chances in good races or decent opportunities. She'd been in good position and couldn't get the money. And now she's got the 10 hole, and it's where do you go? I mean, it's a difficult race. It's in one of them races.
Might be the all button race. Yes.
It's there's a lot of opportunities in here. I didn't fall in love with any. I went 6, 7, 10, but Mike's he's going to sit right on top of the fence on this one and just say, I have no clue. I went 6, 7, 10 though. I got to pick something. And the 6th race, sort of your late pick 3, Fillies and Mares, non-2 lifetime. 4,000 claimers going 6.5. I like the run from the 5 Zygo. This horse looked pretty sharp and winning last time. Even the first run was pretty solid after breaking slowly. I think this horse is, on the upslide, and it's not facing a super tough group. I put the 9 Sugar Cat in for second. Did defeat Zygo first time out, but this horse was running at Santa Anita, had a little conditioning edge, but went long last time, failed when Mini Fridge just zoomed by them all, and Sugar Cat it cost her definitely second, being absolutely, passed quickly, breezed by at the quarter pole. I mean, you don't see horses suck the life out of them at the quarter pole and see them hang on for second very often. That's what happened to Sugar Cat. But I think she back at his sprint, Amadeo Perez back aboard. This horse could be live. And the 3 Texas Alley Cat, no idea what to do with this horse. It is a 3-year-old filly, but they're facing some older horses in here. She had battle on the pace last time, but there's some pace in here. Fun Before the Storm, Valid Vows fast. Yeah. There's a lot of pace in here. Texas Alley Cat, even on the class drop's not going to be a gift either. I went 5-9-3.
I agree with Zygo. I was very impressed with the run last time. Wins by over 5 lengths. Just did it professionally. A lot of upside.
Showed some versatility too. Like can stay near the lead or can lay a little off it, which will be good in this race.
Yeah, exactly. Because there is a fair bit of speed, and she's decent breeding. Infinite Wealth was a nice mare and second in command. So I got Zygo on top. I put Texas Alley Cat in the second spot. You can't ignore her. She is taking the drop down after running in stakes earlier this year. Now she's in for 4,000, and Troy's always dangerous when they drop. So I've got Texas Alley Cat in the second spot. I threw Valid Bell in the third spot. She opened up last time, looked like an easy winner. Did get caught late by a Fleet Alice as the heavy favorite. That was her first time dropping to 4. A lot of times you'll see these horses, they drop down to 4, they get beat, but they come back with a better effort. And I think Antonio Reyes back aboard is not going to let her get away from him as much as he did last time. But there is pace on here, so I just threw her in because Mark's having a good year, and it's her second time off the drop, so I threw her in for third. I went 5, 3, and 6. On the 7th, Fillies and Mares, now there's a 3 lifetime for 8,000. And I went back to my horse. I've picked her all 9 times she's raced.
Everybody loves a mini fridge.
Try her again, mini fridge for her 10th start. Obviously, this is a step up, but she's a different filly going long, as she's shown. When her 2 races going long were very impressive. She is going to have to get a bump in the Byers. Put forward a little bit better effort, but I like the fact that Hamill sticks with her. Mike Anderson having a great meet. I'm going with mini fridge again. On top of the other, the obvious 2 ones that scare me in here, I got Bridal Beauty in the 2nd spot. She's dropping out of the $16,000 level, and they haven't been great races, but I just feel there's more there. You know, this is a filly that was running good races down in Golden Gate. Barb had her in stakes here last year. Cheapest price for life, and Antonio Reyes takes the call on her, and he's having a bang-up year, second lean rider behind Richard. And they had blinkers, so Barb's trying something a little bit different.
She ran against the boys last time, too.
Yeah, that's right.
That was again, like, that was Admiral Jackson, Royal Briar. Those are considerably tougher horses.
That's a lot tougher. Just because Barb wanted to go long.
That was it.
Now she's long.
That's why she was in there.
Against her own sex for half the price. I got Bridal Beauty in the 2nd spot, and I threw Stormstalker, who's probably going to be your favorite in here. She figures to be tough. Just gets beat 3/4 of a length by Blended in those starter series 2 races ago, and last time not much of an effort, so she does go in a non-3 instead of the starter series. I went 176.
Yeah, I went to the 2 Rio Hana. This horse just got beat by, I believe, an Angel.
Yeah,
came out
she's
to
right
win
there,
again, but Rio Hana's not a sprinter, and she's still running good races sprinting. She's finally got, this is the first non-2, non-3, 8,000 mares going along, and she finally gets to do her best distance, which is what she did last year. She's a good route horse, and she will have to, face Mini Fridge, who's sharp, but I think she's better than Mini Fridge. Stormstalker is probably the best horse in the race, or Bridal Beauty. Actually, 6 or 7 might be the best horses in the race, but Bridal Beauty has to get in form. Stormstalker is in form. She won a great second, a Blended 2 starts back, but she's unproven at a mile and 16th, so that was the tricky part with her. I went 2, 6, and 1. I like Rio Hana to defeat Stormstalker and Mini Fridge, Bridal Beauty, and honorable mention as well, but I went 2, 6, 1 in the 7th. On to the 8th and final. $4,000 non-winners at 2, going 6.5 furlongs. 7-horse Tucci has been a pretty consistent little guy so far this spring. Can't win for 8, so they're going to put him in for 4. And
comes out of an 8 non-3 as well.
Non-2, non-3. It's the same horse. It's the same sort of.
But now you're in a straight non-2.
That's a big drop. I know. Anytime you get out of them non-2, non-3s, which they eventually being non-3s, because if they don't fill the race, BC bred, by 9 o'clock, they open it up to the straight non-3s. Yeah. So, Tucci's running against some tough horses, but he can't beat them, so he's in for 4. The 4-horse New Jersey Joe was a good runner-up last time to next out winner Wiley's Command, and the 3 Irish Victor ran well on it. I went 7-4-3. I just think Tucci looks like he's found a field. He should be able to beat Jackson. Cruise Dancer's had a good season. Power to Believe makes his first start of the year, and he's got a horse. I just think Tucci's your horse.
I think
7-4-3.
Tucci would be, maybe the best bet on the card for me. Coming out of a tough non-3-8 into a non-2-4, it's got to be Tucci. If anybody beats him, it's another horse I've picked about every start of his life, but I'm picking him second today. New Jersey Joe looks to be the main threat to Tucci, and I'm with you. I threw Irish Victor in the 3rd spot. I got 7, 4, and 3 in the nightcap. Same horses as Mike. That'll do it for our analysis of the Saturday card. Up next on screen will be our picks. Mike, as always, you are
back in race number 1. I went to the 6. A great promise. 6, 1, and 2 in the Saturday opener. Race number 2, I went to the 4 Oshki, 4, 2, 1. Race number 3, the 8 E Caddy to defeat the 7 Imposing Cat and the 2 Satellite Storm. But I think you need all 3 of them. 4th race, number 1 Merlot over the 2 Royal Briar. I think 1, 2, and I like the 6th Clarny Kid too. I'm not going to leave him out. The 5th race, the 6 Oasis Wells, which is one of the toughest races on. It is the toughest races on the card. This filly and mare maiden race. 6, 7, 10. I went in the 5th. Race number 6 went to the 5 Zygo, 5, 9, 3. Race number 7 I went to the 2 Rio Hana over the 6 Storm Stalker, 2, 6, 1 in the 7th. In the 8th race, number 7 Tucci on the class drop, 7, 4, 3.
On to my picks. There we go. In the first, I agree with Mike. I went with number 6, Great Promise, over the 1 and the 5. In the second, number 4, Oski, over the 2 and the 3.
Oski.
In the third, number 7, Imposing Cat, over the 8 and the 1. In the fourth, I went to the 2, Royal Briar, over the 3 and the 1. In the fifth, I went to the 6, Oasis Wells, over the 10 and the 3. In the sixth, number 5, Zygo, over the 3 and the 6. In the seventh, number 1, Mini Fridge, over the 7 and the 6. And in the nightcap, I'm with Mike, number 7, Tucci, over the 4 and the 3.
All right, that'll do it for this edition of Handicappers Corner. Don't forget, it's Dayton Cup Day at Hastings. There'll be a big crowd in attendance, so do come on out early.
A
big
well-dressed
stage.
crowd.
They will be decked out nicely. A lot of the clientele at Hastings on Saturday. Of course, 8 races on tap. One more race than usual. We usually have 7, but because of the Dayton Cup, we're going to toss another race in there, keep the people happy, keep them out there. Big over $40,000 carryover in the Sea to Sky Pick 6, so there is a lot of interest in the wagering, a lot of interest in just people watching.
Yes.
There's a lot, and of course a great 8-race card at Hastings, so it should be a lot of fun. On behalf of Drew, thanks to everyone for tuning in to Handicappers Corner. We'll see you next time here at the Derby Bar and Grill.